Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely confused, drained, or even questioning your own memory? You know something was wrong, but you can't explain it. That feeling of walking on eggshells, of always second-guessing yourself, it is not in your head. It is the calling card of a master manipulator, and it's an insane form of abuse designed to keep you under their thumb. If you clicked on this video, you've probably felt that exact confusion. You felt that doubt after talking to a specific person, a partner, a boss, anyone. Let me tell you right now, you are not crazy, you are not too sensitive, and you are not imagining things. You are being manipulated, and the techniques they use are so subtle, they slowly chip away at your confidence and your reality. This isn't a simple disagreement. This is about control. But here is the most important thing you need to hear. Once I show you the game, you can refuse to play. Once you see their tactics for what they are, predictable, boring patterns, they lose all of their power. Their magic trick is exposed. In this video, we are pulling back the curtain for good. We're going to dissect every single one of these techniques with insane real-world examples so you can spot them from a mile away. This is your first step to breaking free, reclaiming your mind, and finally taking your power back. First up is the craziest, most sinister tactic of them all, because it's designed to make you think you're going insane. Gaslighting. The name comes from an old play where a husband literally tried to convince his wife she was crazy by dimming the lights and denying it. It's a strategy to warp your reality until you can't trust anything you see or feel. A gaslighter's goal is to make you so dependent on their version of events that they completely own you. So, what does this actually look like? It's rarely one big event. It's a slow burn. It's your partner, after a massive fight where they said horrible things, looking you dead in the eye and saying, "That never happened. You're imagining things. I would never say that." The denial is so insane, so confident, that you start wondering, did I dream it? Am I remembering it wrong? At work, it's the manager who promises you a project lead in an email. But when the project starts and you're not on it, they claim, "I never said that. You must have misunderstood." They might even suggest you're not ready for it, planting seeds of doubt in your own skills. This tactic is devastating because it attacks your reality. The manipulator rewrites history with so much conviction that you start believing their lies over your own brain. They'll use phrases like, "You're just being too sensitive," or "You always overreact." These are weapons. They are designed to make your feelings seem like a flaw in your character, not a result of their bad behavior. Over time, you start to believe it. Maybe I'm too sensitive. This cloud of confusion is exactly where they want you. In that fog, you're a million times easier to control. The first step is to recognize it. It's when you decide to trust your own memory over their story. It's when you can say, "I know what I saw," and refuse to let them argue with your reality. Imagine you meet someone and it's a literal fairy tale. They shower you with non-stop attention, compliments, and gifts. Constant texts telling you you're the most incredible person on earth. Insane gestures that sweep you off your feet. This is not a fairy tale. It's a tactic, and it's called love bombing. It's one of the most insane tools in the manipulator's kit because it disguises control as overwhelming love. A manipulator knows that to get control, they first need your absolute trust. Love bombing is the VIP express lane to getting you hooked. By creating this intense, intoxicating bubble of adoration, they make you feel more special than you have ever felt before. It's designed to get you addicted to the high of their affection, creating a crazy, powerful bond in record time. But then comes the twist. Once they have you, everything changes. The flood of praise turns into a trickle of criticism. The affection that was once unlimited is now used as a weapon for punishment and reward. If you do something they don't like, maybe you just want a night out with friends, that warmth is gone. They become cold, distant, and might even give you the silent treatment. This hot and cold whiplash is designed to destroy your balance. You're left scrambling, trying to figure out what you did wrong to make the love go away, desperate to get back to that amazing beginning. This creates a vicious cycle. You start changing your behavior, walking on eggshells just to keep them happy. You might pull away from friends and family because the manipulator hinted they're a bad influence. Before you know it, your world is tiny, and they are the center of it, the only person who decides if you feel good about yourself. That's the trap. It was never about love. It was about creating a dependency they could use against you. It's a Trojan horse, looking like a gift, but hiding an agenda of pure control. Guilt is a weapon, and in the hands of a manipulator, it's deadly. Guilt tripping is a form of emotional blackmail, where someone makes you feel responsible for their feelings to get you to do what they want. They use your own empathy against you to control your every move. A classic example is the line, "If you really loved me, you would ... followed by something they want that's usually bad for you. It's the friend who, when you can't make it to their party, says, "That's fine. I guess I'll just be there all by myself. I just thought you actually cared." That statement is a dagger, designed to make you feel like the worst friend in the world, so guilty that you cancel everything just to please them. Manipulators are experts at playing the victim. They'll constantly bring up everything they've sacrificed for you, using it like a weapon to make you feel like you owe them. You'll hear things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me?" This move isn't a conversation. It's an attack. They make themselves the martyr, which automatically makes you the bad guy if you don't give in. This is super toxic in families. A parent might say, "Don't worry about me. I'll be fine all alone for the holidays," knowing it will unleash a tidal wave of guilt to change their child's plans. At work, a boss might say, "I know you have a lot to do, but the whole team is counting on you to stay late." I'd hate for them to be let down. They're not asking. They're manipulating you with social pressure to push you past your limits. The problem with giving in to guilt trips is that it teaches the manipulator that it works. It literally rewards their bad behavior and creates a world where your needs are always last. You have to see the guilt trip for what it is, blackmail. You can respond calmly and firmly. "I understand you're disappointed, but I can't." And that's it. You don't have to apologize for having boundaries. Sometimes the manipulation gets even crazier. This brings us to a tactic called triangulation. This is when a manipulator avoids talking to you directly by bringing a third person into your dynamic. It's a massive power play designed to create drama, insecurity, and jealousy, and it works surprisingly well. In a relationship, this is the partner who constantly brings up an ex or a friend to create competition. They'll say things like, "You know, my ex never had a problem with me working late," or "I was talking to Sarah, and she agrees with me." Suddenly, it's not you and your partner anymore. It's you versus this other person. You're immediately on defense, forced to compete against a ghost, which completely destroys your confidence. The goal is to make you feel anxious and replaceable, so you're easier to control. Triangulation is everywhere in toxic workplaces. A boss might stir up rivalry by telling one employee, "James is really setting a new standard," while telling James something similar about you. This breeds insane competition and mistrust where there should be a team. Instead of working together, you become rivals for the boss's approval, while the manipulator just sits back and enjoys the power. This tactic is so sneaky because it isolates you. The manipulator controls all the information, twisting words to create drama. They'll tell you a coworker said something bad about you, then tell that same coworker that you're mad at them. Now there's a war that never even existed, and the manipulator is the only one you feel you can trust. To break free, you have to refuse to play. Demand direct communication. If a partner says, My friend thinks you're being unreasonable. Your response is, I'm not talking to your friend about this. What do you think? At work, build your own direct relationships with coworkers, so the manipulator can't plant seeds of distrust. When you refuse to engage with the third point of the triangle, their entire power structure collapses. It's that simple. Have you ever felt like you're constantly trying to prove yourself to someone, but you can never win? You do exactly what they ask, only to be told it's not enough, or that they wanted something else entirely. This is a cruel game called moving the goalposts. It's designed to keep you forever chasing an approval that will never, ever come. The manipulator sets impossible standards that are always changing, ensuring you always feel like a failure, and they always have the power. In a relationship, your partner might say you're not spontaneous enough, so you plan a surprise trip. But when you tell them, they say, I meant small surprises, like flowers. This is too much. You did what they asked for, but the target moved. The real goal wasn't for you to be spontaneous. It was to keep you trapped, trying to get their validation. This is an incredibly effective way to crush someone's soul at work. A manager might say that to get a promotion, you need to improve your presentations. You spend months taking courses and delivering amazing presentations. At your review, the manager says, yes, your presentations are better, but now I'm concerned about your data analysis skills. The goalposts have moved again. No matter what you do, a new requirement magically appears, keeping you stuck and feeling like you're never good enough. The psychological damage is insane. It makes you feel helpless, like nothing you do will ever be right. You get exhausted from chasing a target that's always moving. And that exhaustion makes you even easier to manipulate. Why do they do it? Because someone who's constantly trying to please them is easy to control. To beat this, you have to nail the goalposts to the ground, get clarity, and document everything. At work, send a follow-up email. To confirm, improving my presentations is the main goal for my promotion. Are there any other key metrics? This creates a paper trail and makes it almost impossible for them to change the rules. In personal relationships, you have to see the pattern and refuse to play. You can say, it feels like every time I meet an expectation, a new one appears. I'm not playing this game anymore. Okay, pause. If any of this, the gaslighting, the love bombing, the constant guilt trips is hitting a little too close to home, I want you to spam the comments right now with, I see it now. You don't have to share details, but let's show everyone else watching who feels totally alone that they're not. The professional world can be a minefield for manipulation, often disguised as corporate culture or strong leadership. Here, the mind games are all about professional control, and they are just as damaging, leaving you feeling powerless in your own career. One of the most common tactics is manipulative corporate speak. This is when companies use feel-good language to get you to accept things that are terrible for you. Think about the phrase, we're not just a company, we're a family. On the surface, it sounds amazing. But that family slogan is used to justify no boundaries, unpaid overtime, and a level of loyalty that is not normal for a job. If you try to set a boundary, like not answering emails at 10 p.m., you're suddenly not a team player. You're guilt-tripped for treating your job like a job. Then you have bosses with dark leadership traits. A manipulative boss doesn't lead by inspiration. They lead by fear and control. They use guilt, saying things like, I took a big chance hiring you. I hope you're not going to let the team down by taking all your vacation. They make you dependent on them by being the gatekeeper to your career. They'll take credit for your idea in a meeting, then tell you privately it was just to give the idea more weight, which only makes them more powerful while making you smaller. Another insane tactic is subtle sabotage. A manager might give you impossible deadlines, setting you up to fail. When you struggle, they can swoop in as either the disappointed mentor or the hero who has to clean up your mess. They might also spread rumors or undermine your relationships with colleagues, isolating you and making you easier to control. To protect yourself, documentation and transparency are your best weapons. If you're given a vague task, ask for clarification in an email. Keep a private log of dates, times, and exact phrases from manipulative conversations. Build strong alliances with your colleagues. And most importantly, judge people by their actions, not their words. A manipulator's promises mean nothing. A healthy workplace helps you grow. It doesn't keep you in a state of fear. We've now walked through the manipulator's entire playbook. Seeing the patterns is the biggest part of the battle. But knowledge isn't enough. Now, it's time to build your fortress. It's time to build the ultimate defense system that will make you bulletproof to these attacks. This isn't about becoming cold or mistrusting. It's about becoming wise and unbreakable. The first wall of your fortress is setting and enforcing boundaries. Boundaries aren't suggestions. They are the hard lines that define what you will and will not accept. Manipulators test your limits to see what they can get away with. You have to be crystal clear and firm. This means learning to say nitrogen monoxide without feeling guilty. It means saying, "I'm not having this conversation while you're yelling," and then literally leaving the room. A manipulator will see your silence as permission. You have to stand your ground, even when it's hard. Repeat your boundary 1,000 times if you have to. The second layer of defense is radical self-awareness. You need to become an expert on your own feelings. Pay attention to how you feel around certain people. Do you always feel anxious, drained, or guilty after you see them? Your feelings are data. They are your internal alarm system screaming that something is wrong. Manipulators want you to ignore your gut feeling, but it is one of your most powerful weapons. Trust it. If something feels off, it is off. The third strategy is to demand transparency and stay critical. Don't just accept vague promises or sob stories. Manipulators are masters of the half-truth. If someone says something that feels weird, ask more questions. Can you explain how that works with what we talked about yesterday? At work, get everything important in writing. This isn't about being mean. It's about wanting clarity, which is something manipulators hate. They operate in the fog. Your demand for truth is like turning on a giant spotlight. Finally, build a strong support system. Isolation is a manipulator's #1 tool. They will actively try to cut you off from friends and family who might give you a reality check. It is critical that you fight to keep those connections. Talk to trusted friends about what's happening. Hearing someone else say, "That sounds insane," can be the anchor you need to trust yourself. And if you are in a deeply manipulative situation, getting help from a therapist isn't weakness. It's an act of rebuilding your entire life. We've journeyed through the dark, twisted playbook of the manipulator. We've unmasked gaslighting, the trap of love bombing, the blackmail of guilt tripping, the chains of triangulation, and the impossible game of moving goalposts. These aren't random. They are calculated patterns with one single goal: to control you by destroying your sense of self. The experience can leave you feeling broken and totally alone. But the fact that you are watching this, that you made it to the end, means the most important part of you, your spirit, is already fighting back. You have already started taking your power back. Remember this: you cannot change a master manipulator, but you can absolutely change how you respond. You can build your fortress with insane boundaries. You can sharpen your awareness. You can light a torch of critical thinking that cuts through all their fog. You are not their victim. You are a survivor who is now armed with the ultimate cheat codes to protect your peace. The games only work when you don't know you're playing. Now you know all the rules, and you can choose to walk away from the board. If this video opened your eyes, smash that like button to help it reach others who might be trapped in that same fog of confusion. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more content on reclaiming your power and building mental resilience. And most importantly, share this video. You never know who in your life might be feeling that same doubt, walking on those same eggshells. By sharing this, you could be giving them the validation they need to start their own journey to freedom. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay aware, and never let anyone dim your reality again.